Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. Now, why do we have Ambition and Avarice 2 up on the screen? Because Monday nights, I'm in a group, a playtest group with Greg Christopher, the writer and publisher of Ambition and Avarice. And I was thinking about it, we did the game earlier tonight. We've been doing this now for a couple of months. And one of the, I don't know, the conceits, one of the expectations from this game, when it comes to games based upon D&D, we talk about gold gets converted to XP. Well, in this case, like some other old school RPGs that do something similar, um, gold only gets converted to XP when you spend it. This kind of deal does away with the idea of, I'm going to walk around with thousands of gold pieces and value. And no, you got to spend it to get your XP. And we have found as players that we tend to really scrutinize those shopping lists onto how to spend it. So today we had, I guess, a relatively short session. It was just over 2 hours. And the only dice rolling we did was dice rolling for level advancement. Why was that? Because the last session that we played, we got a lot of items, loot, that wasn't actually coinage. It was statues. It was uh, bars of gold, trade bars. It was a candelabra. These are things, and I think we forget this often when it comes to gaming, whether it's 5e or OSR or whatnot. We're focused on the coinage, right? But really, the loot, what we should be focusing on as GMs, as players, is what is it that you're finding? What can be converted to cash? What can be sold? What is it other than just pure coin? Because really, when you go into the average dungeon room, right? Are the giant rats going to be sitting there with 2,000 coppers? Right? Is that their treasure hoard? How likely are they accumulating copper pieces? Now, maybe those giant rats in a room that used to be somebody's quarters, a bedroom. Maybe there's a silver lamp. Maybe there is a magical dagger that's underneath some refuse in the corner. That's all legit. But really, how often do you come? All right, again, we're talking not real fantasy world, but how often do you think these monsters who aren't spending coins are going to have coins? Maybe they, I don't know, like the book with the pictures in it. They can't read, but they like the book that they can flip through. The orcs like that book because it's got some great diagrams and it's awesome. Maybe it's a medical book. Maybe it's a summoning book. Maybe in the right hands, that's worth money. Isn't it more exciting as a player, as a GM, to not necessarily give all your loot in coinage, but to give it in items that have to somehow, you got to get that 2-foot statue out of the dungeon. It weighs a lot, and it's probably worth a lot, but doesn't it make more sense than just, oh, it's a hoard? The orcs had a hoard of 1,100 silver pieces. How realistic is that? Or is there a dungeon economy that's based upon coinage? I don't think there is, really, right? So why would they be hoarding coins? It's more likely that you'll have items that were there from prior occupants, the initial occupants, or maybe you'll have things that they've captured from towns. Maybe they like the painting when they did a raid and they brought the painting back. That certainly makes sense. Maybe they like cooking spices and they have a whole pantry full of cooking spices that they have accumulated because that for them is something of value. It makes the food that they cook more tasty, makes them potentially slightly rotten meat not taste so rotten. That would be a lot more important than some metal coins that they can't turn into anything, right? So I think that that's important, but I also think that the process of actively converting those coins that you've now redeemed, you've sold your, I don't know, magic scrolls, your books, your paintings, your candelabras, your lamps, your silverware, your platinum mirror. You've sold all this stuff, right? Now you have money, but it isn't worth something experience wise until you spend it. And I'm not saying that you have to spend it on carousing or drinking, as is the default in certain games. But all right, I'm a spellcaster. Well, I need a new first level spell. Well, it's going to cost me 500 gold pieces to get that spell. And at the same time, when I pay the guild or I pay the merchant for access to that spell, I get 500 experience points. Or, well, a riding horse is, I don't know, 50 gold. Well, I spend my 50 gold, I get 50 experience points. That has value. It gives that gold an additional value because it prevents the players, their characters, from hoarding it. I remember when I played AD&D 1E in the 80s, the first magic item we always wanted was what? A bag of holding. Because you needed something to hold all your fucking wealth, all your money. You needed something. Well, if you're forced to spend it on potions, on things that will help you, if your wealth isn't defined by coins, then maybe it's a better way of approaching it. So this is ambition and avarice. That is the idea behind spending your money, your gold pieces, and turning it into XP. Like I said, you could carouse, obviously, but you spend it on upgrading your armor, your spells, your weapons, uh, herbs that can help you against poison. So it just a little extra to think about. I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I always had an issue of turning gold pieces into XP. I think that second edition did away with that, but not for the and not totally right. I think thieves still got their share. I got to bring out my player's handbook, my 2E player's handbook one time and re-review the rules. So, folks, we're still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. What does that mean? It means I'm not your fucking parent. I am not your father. I am not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to hold your hand. Okay? Use your common sense. Make common sense decisions, right? Based upon where you are and your own risk factors. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. And God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll catch you later.